Hey folks, Dr. Vapor here, and welcome to E-Cig's 101. Now, what is E-Cig's 101 all about? Well, the other day I'm sitting around the house and I get a call from Rob over at Alt Smoke, and he says, "Hey Doc, what I'd like to do is make a series of videos geared especially towards the new vapor, the new person to e-cigarettes, or the person maybe thinking about trying e-cigs for the first time. And, let's see if we can get some really good information out there. Would you help me out with it?" Well, of course, I said sure. So, even though this is being brought to you by Alt Smoke, and we're going to be looking at some of the products that Alt Smoke has, this is information you're going to be able to take anywhere and use throughout your vaping experience, throughout your experience with e-cigs. We're going to be talking firstly about what to order. That is one of the biggest problems facing the person who is investigating switching from tobacco products to e-cigarettes. We're also going to be looking at dripping, how to do it. We're going to be looking at a couple of different things with that. Also, we're going to have a video on the differences between cartomizers and a regular atomizer, which you'll know more about once you see the video. We're also going to be looking at refilling the cartomizers so you can get good long life out of them. We're also going to be looking at advanced things too, beyond the first e-cig decision that most people have to make. We're going to be looking at the big battery mods. What are they? How do they work? And we're going to be looking at a couple of really, really good ones. So kick back and enjoy. This is episode number 1, or should I say class number 1 of E-Cig 101. What do I order first? That's the question asked by everyone who is thinking about switching to e-cigs. And it can be really complicated. There's a lot of stuff. You do an internet search on e-cigs and tons of stuff comes up. You can go to the mall and there are kiosks in the mall that want to sell you these high-priced e-cigs, costing $100, $120, $150 for one kit. I've seen some internet things out there. These are like scams almost, where they want to sell you an e-cig for $175 and then get you signed to a contract where they send you cartridges every month and you have to pay for this. There really are better ways. So what's a good way to know what to order first? Well, what I suggest is looking for a low-cost 510 kit. That's what the majority of people start with who switch from tobacco products to e-cigs. Now, what is a 510 kit? Let me show you. Now, this is a 510 kit. It just happens to be the Yeti by Alt Smoke. Now, why is it called a 510 kit? Well, it's called a 510 kit because of the atomizer that comes along with the kit. And this is the atomizer. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But this is a 510 atomizer. That's just the name of it, hence the name 510 kit. There are other types of atomizers, the most popular ones being, of course, the 510. There's an 801 that is very popular, a 901 that is very popular, but there are literally maybe a dozen or so other types of atomizers out there. This just happens to be the 510. It's a very popular model, and this is the model that most people find easiest to start with. Now let's take a look at what a 510 atomizer is. Take a look inside there. You see that little dot right inside? That's the bridge of the atomizer. That's a little piece of mesh in there that protects what's called a coil. There's a coil and a little reservoir down in there, and that coil heats up. What does it heat up? It heats up the ingredients that are inside the cartridges or the juice that you drip in there. What's in that? Well, it could be a number of things. It could be propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, or a combination of the two. There can be some flavorings in there, and there can or cannot be nicotine if you so choose. When that vegetable glycol or propylene glycol makes contact with the heating coil and heats up, it turns into a water vapor, which is then inhaled, and that's what gives you the e-cig or the vaping experience. So what comes standard with your Yeti 510 kit? Well, this one's a good value. It gives you 2 batteries and 2 atomizers. One of the reasons I think this is a good value is because a lot of kits only give you 1 atomizer. And with this one, you get a second atomizer, which really does add to the value. You get a charger to charge your batteries with. You get 5 pre-filled cartridges with either a tobacco flavor or a menthol flavor, and a book of instructions. So what do we do first? Well, these batteries just come with a partial charge on them, so we have to make sure these batteries are charged up good. So here's how to do that. Now the battery charger, you can charge in 2 different ways. You can see you've got a USB port or USB plug right there. You can just plug that into your computer and screw your battery right into the charger. Or if you'd rather do it in a wall socket, instead of plugging it into the computer, just plug your USB into the wall charger right here, and you can plug it into the wall and charge it. Now, what's important? Charge these batteries for about 4 hours before you use them for the first time, just to make sure they have a really good charge on them. And while your battery's charging, it's a good time to take a look at the instruction manual. There's a lot of little helpful hints in here. The battery's almost done charging, so let's take a look at another component of the Yeti 510 kit, and that is the cartridge. Cartridges come standard on all 510 kits, and it's very, very simple. This is what goes in over the atomizer. Now you see that filling right in there? That's a fiber in there, and that is full of E-juice or E-liquid, and that is the stuff we were talking about before that contains the flavoring and can or cannot contain nicotine if you so choose. When you're done vaping your cartridges, don't throw them out. These things are reusable, and I'll show you how to refill them on another show. When your battery is done charging, all you have to do is remove the empty cap from the atomizer. Don't throw this away, by the way. I'm going to tell you how to reuse this when we talk about dripping in our next episode of E-Cigs 101. Then, take your atomizer, screw your atomizer right there into the battery, take your pre-filled cartridge, and just place it into the atomizer. Then all you have to do is push the button and vape. Congratulations, you're an ex-smoker. That's really all it takes is the 510 kit, the Yeti from Alt Smoke. But wait, we're discussing what you need to get when you first order. What do you first get? Well, there's a couple other things you might want to pick up that'll make your vaping experience a lot nicer and get you started off right. Now, the Yeti 510 kit is a complete kit in and of itself, and it's really all you need to get you started. But if I were you, there's a couple other things I'd consider purchasing when I first made my order. The first thing, just to make your life a little bit easier, order an extra battery. You might also want to order 2 extra atomizers, and by all means, order a bottle or 2 of e-liquid, and Alt Smoke has a variety of flavors to choose from. All this is going to make your first e-cig experience really easy and really satisfying, and that's the whole idea. I'd like to thank Alt Smoke for sponsoring this series of videos, and I want to invite you to stay tuned for our next installment of E-Cig 101, when we're going to be talking about a dripping technique, which I think you're going to find very, very interesting. Till then, this is Dr. Vapor. Stay cool. We'll see you on the floor.